the recent document that we are discussing somehow brings leadership and brings somehow key building blocks for a shared approach, an evidence-based shared approach to some of the challenges of easing the lockdown measures, and at the same time provides, of course, space, as was just said, to adapt to the specificities, the epidemiologic and health system specificities of each country. So yeah, it's a good step forward, but at the same time, we need to not to lose the view that until now, the European leadership has been almost invisible, I should say.
What could they do to remedy that in your mind going forwards? Because now you've got a situation where different countries in Europe are announcing different exit strategies at different times. How do you think the European Commission could then help bind that together a little bit more cohesively?
Well, there's been somehow like a negative overlap between the need from a public health standpoint for individual isolation and social distancing, of course, and we're seeing that these measures are showing effectiveness, although the data is still preliminary. But there's been an overlap between these public health needs and its translation to a purported need for political isolation and distancing between countries, in this case, European countries. So I think this should be changed. And of course, we need to strengthen the need for these social distancing measures, but at the same time, this should not imply the need for political distancing. On the contrary, I think it's time.
What do you mean political distancing of the country? Can you explain that a little bit more?
Well, basically every country fighting its own battle. And what we're seeing now is that somehow what this document brings in perspective is the claim that we need to have shared evidence-based interventions and to have also solidarian approach to the needs not only of individual countries, but of European Union countries as a whole.
So there is this framework that's been issued by the Commission. Do you think the member states are going to use it when they come up with their own lockdown strategies?
Yeah, I think that every member state is already working on somehow these strategies. I think what it provides is an added value in the form of harmonization and in the form of a shared framework. So I think this should help governments also regarding their constituencies, that they're along the right tracks with the specificities and the timing that each situation will require.